Howdy mates, top of the morning to ya. Today marks Saturday, April 25th, 2026. It's been a while since I've produced films at this frequency. But welcome to the state of Massachusetts, which is named after the number of indigenous tribes that inhabited this region of New England. But specifically, the region of Massachusetts that we're in is in Rockport, which is northern Massachusetts, near the state line with New Hampshire. So essentially, we're not quite at Cape Cod, but we're somewhat nearby. But my goodness, it has been, I want to say about 7-8 years since I've gone to Massachusetts, and so spending time in this region is once again very pleasing. Oh wow, look at those waves. Oh goodness, I have really missed the Atlantic. Oh wow, look at that. That's so distracting. But the Atlantic, I don't remember if I have mentioned it before, but they do experience what is called semi-diurnal tides, which essentially means within a 24-hour and 50-minute cycle, there's usually a pattern of 2 high tides and 2 low tides. So right now, we are a little bit in the low tide at the moment. That is how I'm able to walk among the granite. So really, you have to time your walks on the coast if you want to be able to view what is upon me, Intertidal zone, which often describes a habitat that is highly subjected to the forces of nature. I mean, think about it. The organisms that inhabit here, they are dealing with 2 separate fronts. They're dealing with the waterfront, which has its own world in terms of predators. But then once it's exposed, the intertidal organisms then face the terrestrial threat in terms of predators. And so, oftentimes, the organisms that do inhabit an intertidal zone are usually either sessile, which means stationary, or they have these protective layers or shells that enable a form of protection. And it's a fine example of adaptability. Let's see what we have here. So if you look carefully, you may notice these distinct shells. Well, I'm still essentially learning what is identifiable, but more or less, these are great examples of gastropods, which derives from Latin, meaning gastro describes stomach, pod describes feet. Because if you think about it, gastropods only move basically from their stomach, or like from that position. And so that is how they bear that name. But then nearby as well, there are a number of barnacles which do in fact filter the surrounding waters, marine waters. And they're also an example of a sessile organism, which means they only remain in one place. But then you also have rockweed, which is fairly frequent along the Atlantic coast. It's also a great food source for marine life. But then if you look closely, the reddish, that is, oh boy, I just forgot the name of it. It's like Irish something. I'll be sure to clarify in the description, because I literally just learned the name of it just a few minutes ago, and of course I'm drawing a blank. But nevertheless, it's good to be out here once again. Feels like just about every weekend I have been visiting the coast, just because the fact that now I am within a day's drive, it's always an opportunity that I want to take part in. And of course, the Atlantic holds a high regard for me. But nevertheless, hope you guys have a good one. Take care. And of course, Journey on a Journey is onwards. See you later.